Hello dear students, today let us start History First Lesson Introduction to History. In this video you will learn what is history, why should we study history, what are the sources and what are the different types of sources. The systematic presentation of past events is called history. The presentation of past events in a systematic manner is called history. History introduces the journey of human beings. That is, history tells us how the human beings who were living in caves in the beginning, who were wandering from one place to another for food, started a settled life. How villages, towns, cities, kingdoms were established. Not only that, history tells us the failure and success of human beings in that journey. While explaining the historical incidents, the accuracy of time, place and person is maintained. This means when the incident took place, where it took place and by whom. These would be clear. Without these clarities, history becomes a story. So children, while explaining the historical incidents, there should be the accuracy of time, place and person. That is, when the incident took place, where it took place and by whom. Otherwise, history becomes a story. Children, now let us see why we want history, why we should study history. Children, what happens if you touch the flame of fire? It burns, doesn't it? This is experience. Will you again touch the fire? No, because you have already experienced the burning sensation, haven't you? We call this as memory, recollection and retention. What have happened if humans did not have memory at all? He would have committed the same mistake again and again. In this case, the progress of human beings is not possible. As human beings need memory to progress, so a society or a nation need memory to progress. It is inevitable. Then what can be assumed as memory for a society or a nation? That is history. So the memory which is needed for the progress of a society or a nation is called history. Yes, memory serves human to survive. Without memory, it is difficult to live. In the same way, history serves as a memory for a society, state, nation and the whole world. So, history is a systematic presentation of past events. It is a record of good and wrong decisions, joyful and sorrowful experiences, and the difficulties faced by our ancestors. Besides, it warns the future decision-making process. The principles, values and ideologies of our ancestors in the history will be model and guiding force for their descendants. Their valor, adventures, patriotism and sacrifices will inspire the next generation. Herodotus of Greece was the first person to show the world how to construct this immensely valuable history. Hence, he is considered as the father of history. Herodotus is considered as the father of history because he was the first person to show the world how to construct history. The person who constructs history is an historian. These historians use different materials, different things or different historical evidences to construct history. And these historical evidences or the materials what are used by the historians to construct history are called sources. So it is believed that there cannot be history without sources. We can divide these sources into two parts. They are literary sources and archaeological sources. Literary sources and archaeological sources are the two types of sources. Literary sources can be divided into written literature and oral literature. What is written literature? It is the written document. Oral literature is the literature which is passed from one generation to another by the word of mouth. Written literature. Written literature can be divided into two types. They are native literature and foreign literature. What is native literature? So the literature created by Indians in their own languages is called as native literature. What is foreign literature? Many foreigners visited India as travelers, ambassadors, businessmen, officials, missionaries, etc. And they have recorded their observations, experiences in their works. These are called foreign literature. So oral literature means the folk story, folk songs, folk legends, ballads and others that pass on from one person to another by word of mouth. Archaeological sources. What are archaeological sources? The physical remains or ruins of the things used or the constructed structures in the past are archaeological sources. So the physical remains or the ruins of the things, different things used by the olden people or the constructed structures in the past, different ruined buildings of past are archaeological sources. The remains that have been buried in the earth are removed through excavations. The scientific process of digging the earth to obtain the ancient remains or fossils of our ancient people is called excavation. So the remains that have been buried in the earth are removed through excavations. The pieces of pot, coins, beads, crystals and bones thus obtained are subjected to scientific research. Thus, the historical evidences or archaeological sources include coins, inscriptions, monuments, pieces of pots and other artifacts. Children, in the next video you will learn how Europeans have been successful in introducing a novel way of constructing the history to the Indians. Thank you.